Hi everyone, it's Christy. Welcome back. We're doing Frugal February this month, so I'm looking at 28 different household items we can use in junk journals. So one thing I bet you everyone household has, almost every household probably has post-it notes, sticky notes. They come in various sizes and shapes and colors. And grab your stash of post-it notes, and we're gonna see what we can do with them in our journal. I'm going to I had the idea of making pages that have a kind of a collage of post-its, and use where the post-its then become the writing space. And so as a foundation, I'm going to use some book pages. I've got 3 signatures in my journal, so I'm thinking maybe I'll try to do 3. I've got 3 book pages here. And I'm going to trim them down because the book pages are a little bit too large to go. They're larger than my journal. So I'm going to just use a ruler and take off some of the excess around the text, and we'll see if that's sufficient. And just see. You can cut it with a guillotine or scissors or, whatever, but I just like a ruler gives kind of a fun little torn edge. I just want to see where I'm at here. Okay. Kind of want to preserve the heading at the top of the page, maybe. And then we'll see. So take off about 3 lines of text at the bottom. The nice thing about book pages is you can use the text as its own measuring device. Okay. Let me just see where I have kind of a bunged up edge there, which is fine, but I'm gonna just see if it's kind of partly torn anyway, so I just take that off. Alright. Otherwise, I don't really care if it's a little imperfect, but that one was sticking out a little farther than I wanted. Okay, get the ruler out of the way. So the book pages are going to be the base, and this is just my work surface so that I don't get things all gluey and messy. Now, I grab my glue stick. And what we're gonna do is, let me pull, I'm doing a pink journal, so let me just first of all pull out some of the pink ones and see what I have to work with here as far as pink goes. I might use some of the other colors too, but I just want to see what the pink is, how they look with my journal cover. Okay, let's try with these 2 for the moment and see what I get. Now, obviously a post-it note has some sticky on it, but I'm going to actually glue the whole thing down. I want to glue the whole thing down because I want it to be a kind of a permanent feature in the book. But for the moment, I'm just going to sticky them down just to kind of play with some layout ideas. And these, actually, I should point out, these are just regular post-it notes, and I just took a rubber stamp and, stamped through the entire post-it pad. So that's another fun thing you can do with post-it notes, just to play around with your supplies and use your stamps in creative new ways. I don't know, there's no right or wrong here. I'm just kind of playing with how will 3 fit on the page? Would 4 be too crowded? Would it be better to use 2 small ones and a big one, or 2 big ones and a small one? I'm just kind of, I didn't practice this before I turned the video on, so you're just creating with me. Okay, so I believe I want to start at the bottom and work up. And it would actually be okay if the post-its overhung this book page, because there is going to be a little bit of room. You know, I did, by tearing the margins off the page, the text block is going to be narrower than the book page, or the journal page, so. Let me just try. Okay, maybe this one I'll go kind of square to the page. Something like that. That one I could tell when it went down it was already puckery, so I wanted to use this for a brayer to press the air bubbles out from underneath it. Okay, and then this one, maybe coming back the other way, maybe. No right or wrong here. I want it to look semi-random, like maybe they just fell on the page, so I don't want it to look too perfectly aligned, but you could certainly do that too if you wanted to make them squared up on the page or whatever. Just do what feels right to you. Just follow your gut instinct. I kind of believe that art doesn't really take a lot of training per se. It just takes a willingness to follow your gut. Okay. There we go. Now, one of the things I thought about doing is I wanted to amp this up a little bit. So I got my box of markers, and let's see, do I want to use pink or something else? Let's try this gray one. I'm going to just kind of trace around these just to emphasize them. Okay, see how that's already just that one is popped out? I just thought, since pink is kind of a pale color, at least these pinks are relatively pale, I just wanted to make them stand out a little bit. Yeah, I'm liking that. It's easy to do. Once I get my pen along the side of that post-it, it just glides right along the little lip of it. No art skills needed for that. You know, another thing you could have done, I could have inked up the edges of the post-its before I glued them down. That would be another thing. And I actually might ink up the edge of the page here. Let me grab a brown dauber and just see if I can add a little bit of color. Yeah, don't need a lot, just a little bit of color on the edge. Maybe emphasize that little torn out part. Just kind of add some definition to the edge, because it's going to go onto just a plain old page, so this will make it pop out from the page a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Now, let's look at the journal for a moment. Let me put that off to the side. Let's find a place. Let's start in the back. So I have 3 signatures in here, so I would like to do probably one in each signature. Let me just find, let's see if there's a page that is screaming that it needs something on it. That one is a candidate. Oh, one of the reasons I wanted to do this before I glued it down is because I knew that by using the Sharpie it would bleed through on the back side of this. So I didn't want to use the Sharpie directly on the journal page. I should probably mention that. Using a lesson learned from experience, if you did use the Sharpie directly on the page and it bled through like that onto the back side of your journal page, just take a book page or something and cover it up on the back side, so problem solved. I think I'm looking at one of these two. How about this one back here? I'm thinking that should go right about in there. Okay. And get the old glue stick back out. Oops. That ought to do it. Just trying to get it close to centered and close to level. Is that? No, that's down. Okay, it looked visually like it was popping up. Okay, so there. Now, even though there's a book page in the background, the post-it notes give you some little writing places where you can write down quotes or, whatever you're wanting to put in your journal. So let's do another one and see if we can speed up this process a little bit now that I kind of know what to do. And I'm not even gonna play with them this time. I'm just gonna slap them down on the paper. My in camera, I gotta see where I'm at here. Alrighty. Ooh, getting a little bit gluey down there. I bet I should probably consider tearing that page off. So I'm doing it a little bit different. You can see I put the two pinks together. Maybe I'll put a bright pink one at the top this time, like that. All right. And again, I'm going to tear that off because that's definitely getting gluey. Grab my marker. Again, I'm just tracing around the edge of the post-it notes, sticky notes, whatever you like to call them. And there we have another one. Just gives us some nice change of look for some new journal page ideas. And what to do here? looking for one in the middle signature where I can plop down a book page. There's a possibility. You know, yeah, I'm not gonna do that one there. Still looking for, I'm gonna eventually put a pocket here to cover over that, the pricing information on the back side of that journal page, or the scrapbook paper, I mean. Okay, I think, given that our options are, oops, am I even in the right signature? There we go. I'm looking for one that's kind of a plain looking paper that didn't get a lot of color. I think this one is a good candidate because that doesn't have a lot of color on it. So I can just slap that down on that side of the page this time. And again, using the Sharpie, it did bleed through the page, but I'm remedying that by just gluing that page down, and it's not going to bleed through it's not going to continue bleeding, so the page itself will be fine. Okay. Get this back in frame for you. All right. Well, I got 2 in. Let me see. I think I have time to do one more. Let's do one more real quick, and then we'll have all 3 of them done. Oh, you know, what I didn't do on that one, you noticed, I bet. I forgot to ink around the edge of the paper, but that's okay. I'm not a perfectionist. I just saw my dauber laying there and realized, oh, I didn't glue that one, or ink that one before I glued it. Let me get some of this paper out of the way. Okay, let's try. I'm going to start at the bottom with a bright pink one this time. Make each of them a little bit different. Okay. So I hope you're getting some good ideas for your journal. Don't have to have a big budget to play with your crafts. Certainly easy enough to just use what you have at home, shop at home, dig around in your drawers and see what you can come up with. And look at new ways to use things that you've already been using, like your post-it notes. Think of what are new and different ways I can use this. Could be as simple as just rubber stamping on your post-it notes. Could be gluing your post-it notes into your journal. Whatever. You're only limited by your imagination. You're not limited by your supplies, you're limited by your imagination. I actually find that when I have limited supplies, my creativity goes up. And when I spend a lot of money and buy fancy supplies, I kind of get paralyzed by it. I feel like if I spent money on it, it demands perfection, and I have to wait for just the right opportunity to use it, and I make up all kinds of excuses. Alright. Maybe I'll lay that one down kind of square. Alright. Just tear that out, because I just want to lay this down and ink around it real quick. Draw around the little post-it notes. Okay. we go with that. And since I'm thinking of it, I'm going to ink around the edge real quickly, just whatever's on my dauber. May not come out super vibrant, but it'll add a little bit of color there, because there's always more ink than you realize in your dauber. And if you're not an inker, you don't have to ink. No rules. Okay. I love how the torn edge, though. One of the reasons I like using the ruler to have a torn edge is because the torn edge just really soaks up the ink. And that one I'm going to be gluing down. Get the dauber out of the way. Better find a place for it before I commit to the glue. This one's going in the first section. Scoot over here a little bit so I can get you in camera. Here. There, now I'm in camera. Alright, I think either that one or this one. Yeah, both of these pages are pretty plain looking there. So I'm just going to do that one. Alright, so back to the glue stick. I need to amp it up a little bit. There we go. Oops. Okay. Get that out of the way so I can push that in the camera for you. Got that one down a little bit crooked, but that's okay. It just looks random, okay? Looks random, like the pages just fell together that way. All right, where's my lid? So there you go. There's something easy, fun, and simple you can do with Post-it notes. Something you probably already have in your house somewhere. Just go look around and see what else you can find. And we're all about just shopping at home and seeing what you can do, at least for this month, see what you can do with what you have on hand. And that's a simple idea that you can use with Post-it notes, okay? I appreciate you taking time to watch with me. Thanks for being here. I love you, and God bless you. See you next time. Bye.